journalist Barbie Nadeau.
It was a shock to Joran. He really relied on his father. His father was his legal counsel, he was his mentor, he was his companion. He was very involved, and a lot of people believe that Joran van der Sloot's father was involved in the cover-up of the death and disappearance of Natalie Holloway. Without Joran's father there to protect him, the playing field's open now for Joran. He has got no one on his side.
And van der Sloot says he felt like his father's death was his fault.
I feel like I did a lot of things that hurt my family, and so that's why I felt also responsible for him passing away.
I think that was one of the reasons he died, maybe?
I feel responsible for it more in a sense that I put so much pressure on him that maybe that's the reason he had a heart attack, or I really felt responsible and was really depressed.
Van der Sloot says he went into a tailspin, which would lead to even more trouble.
That's how my state of mind was, and I know it's not right, I know it's not okay, but that's the way it was.
Coming up, desperate for cash, van der Sloot comes up with a new scheme to shake down the Holloway family.
You start to think, if you want something, then I'll tell you whatever you want to hear. What I was thinking about was the money.
When Dateline continues. By spring of this year, Joran van der Sloot had returned from years of globetrotting to Aruba. But in his eyes, this island of sun and fun had grown dark. The death of his father sent van der Sloot into a downward spiral.
Really felt guilty for everything.
In his prison interview, he says he felt responsible for his family's troubles and for having stalled his father's career.
For everything that happened since 2005, all the things said in the media, everything I feel guilty for, And my family was really bothered a lot because of it.
Racked with guilt over his father's death, he says he sought help.
I went to go talk to a psychologist, and gave me dopamine so I would feel better.
Dutch crime reporter John Vandenhovel says he was given a copy of van der Sloot's psychological evaluation. According to him, the report was alarming.
The doctor said he's a narcissist. He's a
narcissist?
He's addicted to drugs, to alcohol, to gambling. He needs to go to a mental hospital, because otherwise there will be having accidents.
His mother took the doctor's advice and found van der Sloot a spot at a treatment facility in the Netherlands. But van der Sloot never left Aruba.
I still kept going to the casinos all the night, and sleep all the day and not spend my time doing stuff what I should have been doing.
During that time, van der Sloot allegedly came up with a new scheme to profit off the disappearance of Natalie Holloway by shaking down her family.
I got the first email from van der Sloot on March 30th.
John Q. Kelly is Beth Holloway's attorney and has represented her in matters concerning van der Sloot. He says that van der Sloot told him he wanted to come clean and tell the truth about Natalie Holloway's disappearance. But the truth came at a price.
For $250,000.
$250,000?
$250,000, I will tell you what happened to Natalie and where she is now, so you can help Beth bring her home.
Kelly and Beth Holloway went to the FBI. Agents agreed to work with them on a sting to catch van der Sloot committing extortion and wire fraud. Kelly went to Aruba and gave van der Sloot a down payment of $25,000. Then Kelly says van der Sloot led him to a site where he claimed Natalie's body was buried. According to Kelly, van der Sloot even told him the story of how Natalie died, that the two were at the beach, and when van der Sloot wanted to leave, Natalie tried to stop him.
He got angry and actually threw her. He actually made the gesture in the car on video showing me how he threw her in anger because she wouldn't leave at that point. And according to him, she hit the back of her head, lots of blood, and she was dead.
Whether that story is true, the information Vandersloot gave about the location of Natalie's body was all a hoax. Vandersloot has already been charged by federal officials in Alabama, where Beth Holloway lives, with extortion and wire fraud. Now, in his prison interview, Vandersloot admits he tried to scam the Holloway family, though he claims attorney Kelly contacted him first, something Kelly denies adamantly.
If everybody keeps coming at you, asking you stuff, you don't know something, and finally you start to think, okay, well, you if you want something, then I'll tell you whatever you want to hear. Sure, that's how my state of mind was, and I know it's not right, I know it's not okay, but that's the way it was. Yeah, I myself also lied many times and told stories that were not true, and I wish I could take that back, but at those times what I was thinking about was the money. It's not that I told the stories for no reason, it's because people were paying me to make up stories, and I was really good at making up stories.
By last May, flush with cash, Joran Vandersloot went back to his jet-setting ways and traveled to Peru for a poker tournament.
I was contacted and asked if I wanted to come play the LAPT in Lima.
That trip, of course, ended in tragedy, and Joran Vandersloot is still in Peru, awaiting his fate. Coming up, what does he think now about Natalie Holloway and her family's pain?
Natalie's someone I met one night and I barely know her.
When Joran Now, in Lima's Miguel Castro prison, Joran Vandersloot can no longer live the life of an international party boy. There's no travel, no nightlife, and the only bars are on the prison cells.
I have time to think all the time, so I guess I go through a lot of different emotional states. Sometimes I'm angry, sometimes I'm sad, sometimes I can't sleep.
For reporter John Vandenhovel, spending time with him was fascinating, but chilling. How would you best describe Joran Vandersloot?
A dangerous man with two faces. Kindly, but dangerous.
You could see how somebody could fall prey to him or trust him.
I believe it. I saw it with my own.
Confide in him.
I saw it with my own eyes. How he deals with the guards in the prison. How he deals with my camera team. How he talks with me. He's kindly. He's relaxed and.
He's slick.
Yes, but I think he has two faces.
If one face is that of a suspected cold-blooded killer, the other exudes charm and generosity.
We heard that you teach English to the guards.
There's two of the guards that have the shift there that every 3 days they come and for a couple of hours they bring their study books and I do English with them because they like it and I see they're getting better.
And it might be a good idea for him to make friends with his jailers. He's now in a more secure, isolated area, but he wants the warden to move him.
I think it's fine for me to go to the normal population.
But you don't, you are not afraid that other inmates do something to you?
I mean, yeah, everything's possible, but I still would rather go to the normal population and just be able to play sports.
And despite all his troubles, Vandersloot says he's actually receiving friendly letters.
Yeah, a lot of letters of people just asking how I am, for me to stay calm, that this is not the end of the world, life goes on and all those things. A lot of good supporting letters.
What do you think of those letters?
Does me a lot of good.
In fact, Vandersloot seems surprisingly comfortable in prison.
The only thing is, in the nighttime, the rats come out of the pipes and look for whatever food or even my clothes. I've had holes in my clothes before. When I washed them and hung them up, the rats went to the line and ate the food, ate the clothes. So that's not all too nice to have rats there. But
What can you do against it?
well, now we put 2-liter bottles in all the bathroom.